Hi there, and welcome back to another Del Fox Marvel Movies review. Tonight we are going to be talking about the first Thor movie. So I brought a couple of my Thor things here. We've got my Thor wall hanging, and then on the second here we've got the Chris Hemsworth Thor action figure. An absolutely nice figure, but this is the MCU one, and so I thought it was fitting for this movie review because my wife and I just finished watching Thor, and I have my thoughts here. I have my 10 points like we're going to do in every Marvel movie review, and we're going to hop right into it here. Okay, the story of this movie. Upon rewatch, and it took us 3 nights to watch it. We got young kids, and it's late nights, and there's lots of things going on, and so I'd say overall the story is a 7 out of 10. There's nothing in this story, once you've seen all the Marvel movies, that's going to blow you out of the water. I think overall it's a very enjoyable 7. To me is good. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing in this story that blows me away, that like shook me up. It's got a nice flow to it. Sometimes you kind of scratch your head, you go, why are they doing that? But for the most part, I mean, I think back to when I first watched this movie, and it was a very good movie. There's some memorable parts. It's good. Second category is characters, and I give the characters a 9 out of 10. Thor and Loki are 2 of the greatest characters in all of Marvel. Not a hot take. I think a lot of people agree with that. They're very, very good. And so I even like Sif and the Warriors. I like Jane. I like, Darcy. I like the characters in this movie. That's the high point for me, is them. They carry a lot. Visuals I put down as a 7. I was thinking about going a little lower, to be honest, but to me the visuals were a solid 7 out of 10. Sometimes the visuals blow you away. I think the Bifrost is incredible looking for its time. I think that there is some moments. There's a moment where Loki ices over Heimdall, and that looks really, really good. And so then there's moments where you have these CGI frost giants coming through, and they just look clanky and not good, and so that deducts points. And there's other parts too. There was a really good visual moment when the Protector, the Destroyer, I don't remember its name off the top of my head, but it gets stabbed through the neck by Sif, and then it turns its entire body around. That's a really nice visual thing for them. So overall, good, not great. Direction. I struggled when I was putting this together too. The direction for me is another 7. There's moments that feel really well done and really thought out. And then there's a moment between Thor and Jane, and they're on a roof, and it's going really well. And then all of a sudden, like, time passes, and they're like, she's sleeping on this roof, and he's like staring at her, and I'm like, she still hardly knows him. That's kind of weird to me. That doesn't like make me feel like their relationship is good. And I feel like after watching this, like, their relationship feels like boom, boom. And now, like, this is this girl I can't stop thinking about, and like, whatever. And sometimes I felt like the direction was a bit clunky. Still good, just not like the best. Dialogue and humor, I have it a 7. I know this is starting to get kind of rote, but there are moments like with the coffee cup, I'll have another, throws it down on the ground, and that's really funny. And then some of the moments between Odin and Thor, or Loki, and the ending between Loki and Thor is kind of powerful. And then there's times when the dialogue is just kind of like, like you get this like, why is the older scientist so protective of Jane? He kind of says it, and then it's just kind of, I still hate you anyways. It's like, okay, why? Emotional impact I put actually at a 5. They want you to feel some things in this movie where I just sat there going, I don't feel anything, especially knowing what comes down the line for Thor. I'm like, it doesn't move me one way or another. Now, the first time I watched this, maybe that score would be higher, but having seen the entirety of the MCU already, it's a relatively just meh emotional impact. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes you're just left going, okay, at the ending, Loki and Thor going at each other, you could see there's a brother rivalry. And then other times, like with Odin and Loki, it just doesn't feel quite right. So that one. Soundtrack and score, I have it a 7. Again, with this MCU movie, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with the score. There's nothing grand with the score. It's just fine. I can't give it a 6. To me, a 6 is like kind of teetering on the failing, and it's good. It does its job. There's nothing wrong with the score. There's just nothing like that puts it over the top. In this movie, people are going to not like me for this take. I'm going to preface this with, I think Loki in the Avengers is a top 3, top 5 MCU villain. In this movie, when he's just getting started out, he is just okay. Sometimes his motivations are kind of weird, and sometimes like he kind of pulls the rug out and you're like, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. So I have the villain at a 7. It was good. Loki's good. He turns out to be one of the best. And I also think partly the villain is Thor himself in this movie, and I know that's kind of like cliche. Oh, the villain is the story we met along the way, but no, sometimes like Thor gets in his own way, and then in the end, he figures it out. He learns how to be worthy of the hammer again. He learns how to be a worthy king, but he stumbles upon himself more than anything. So I give that a 7. Overall enjoyment of this movie, I gave a 7 as well. I like it. The credits rolled, I looked right at my wife and I said, that's a good movie, not a great movie. It's good. I think in my head, I thought it was going to be better. In my head, I was like, this is like an 8 out of 10. And it just kind of wasn't. I think down the line, it was a good movie. Are you going to be disappointed watching Thor? Is a new person in Marvel going to be disappointed? No, it's a fun movie. There's nothing inherently wrong. There's nothing inherently amazing, though, either. So I remember all the way back when I was watching these movies the first time. Captain America blew my mind. Iron Man blew my mind. And I was like, Thor's cool. It didn't blow my mind, though. So this movie comes out to an even 7.0 out of 10. And I'm not disappointed in that score. I think that's very fair. I think it's a good, not great movie. I think 7's about as low as I'd want to go and about as high as I'd want to go on this score, weirdly enough. It doesn't fall into that like Captain America realm where it just kind of inspired me. It's just like it's fine. Okay? So yeah, next movie I think we're gonna watch is Iron Man 2, but we'll see what's up, and I'll be coming back with some more of these. Been really enjoying doing them. And as always, I appreciate you watching. May God bless you always, and have a good one. So here's where we are for the Marvel scores. Iron Man at a 7.18 out of 10. Captain America at an 8 out of 10. And Thor at a 7 out of 10. Just wanted to keep you up.